our love was only broken in my head. But as I look around, I know that this canary's dead. We don't go on dates, hell, we never eat together. I thought that having someone else would make each other better. That was just a lie we believed to keep it going. Slowly over time, the divide was only growing. Late at night, I turn to see I'm sleeping with a stranger. This numbness killed the pain before we noticed any danger. Maybe when we started, there was something that was real. But even through the hurtful words, there's nothing that we feel. Add a million little things, it becomes a mountain. Adding the pressure turns a drip into a fountain. I thought this toxic atmosphere was only in my head. Looked inside the cage, this canary's dead. Call it toxic self-delusion, but the end was truly near. When the fights lost all the passion, and the sadness lost the tears. The arguments were quiet and empty. This lack of passion never ending. What we once had, it turned into the faintest of an echo. The only way this works is if we both agree to let go. Maybe when we started there was something that was real, but even through the hurtful words there's nothing that we feel. Add a million little things, it becomes a mountain. Keep adding the pressure turns a drip into a fountain. I thought this toxic atmosphere was only in my head. Looked inside the cage, this canary's dead. Habit kept us here together, obligation gave it weight. Had we never realized it, apathy could turn to hate. There's no fixing.
All right, good morning. Welcome to Melzworld Live. I'm your host, Ramel Otis, and welcome to March 10th, Monday, 2025, day one of the hunt. And what I mean is, last week we determined that was going to be the last week I did content for a while until I can get back up on the saddle and earn a little bit of cash to offset the massive amount of hemorrhaging that we're going to do without that extra $1,800 a month in unemployment. Now here's the thing. In May I can reapply, and it does have an 18-month look back, but I also know that I heard somewhere that if you don't have any income in the last month, that it won't work. But, you know, we'll give it a shot. Either way, that's another 6 months. I mean, none of these are long-term. What we need to do is we need to find a sustainable income, and that's the goal. So, yeah, that's it for today. I hope everybody had a good weekend. If you guys did anything, let me know. Welcome to the Twitch streamers. If there's anybody else on this, oh, what's up, Ketas? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I know. It's important. I have a very short runway now of remaining income, and it's important to get a job. The good news is I don't need to get one of those big time money jobs. Yeah, no, I get it. We should catch up, though. I feel like we haven't had a chance to chat, but I hope everything's okay with you. Anyways, yeah, the money's running out, and you know, not soon, but soonish, and that's important to kind of stop and pause what I'm doing and get back into it and get some income. But yeah, let's dive right in. Let's see here. So as far as the projects are concerned, we're going to put a pause on the projects temporarily while I put and commit all of my attention and priority to getting a new job. The goal is to find a 15 to 20 hour a week job. The hope is to pull about $1,500 to $1,800 a month, you know, to supplant the amount that I was making when I was on unemployment. And so, yeah, we're going to pause on the shows, or at least slow down significantly. Food Sleuths is going to go on a hiatus. Melzworld Odyssey, however, will have at least 1 or 2 days dedicated to it a week of just getting the Odyssey episodes out. And the decision was because we had so much content, we had so much film and footage, and it's easier and faster to knock out one of those episodes. If you haven't seen it yet, Melzworld Odyssey Day 6 is out, so please check it out when you can. It is definitely another step towards getting closer to Los Angeles and Santa Monica Pier, where that ends the full Route 66 trip. So, yeah, Ryan Flo, I really gotta start putting some, man, Ketas, I really need to put out some shorts for the AI album. I don't know if you checked out the whole album, if you have any favorites or not, but I really need to start promoting some of those songs. It's doing really well as far as performance is concerned. If I put in, let's go to DistroKid really quick. If we go to DistroKid and we look at the stats for Total Eclipse, there it is. And then we're going to get access to it. And we'll take a look. I agree. So right now, it's got an all-time stream of 895. I will be excited once it breaks 1,000. But I am pleased with the performance of the album since the end of January. And then, of course, if we want to look at the most amount of streams in the last 28 days, it looks like the number one is I Must Go because it's the first. I love the fact that Almost Spoke is at 36. It's got a constant stream of listeners. That's neat. A lot of saves. So, yeah, it's just, I'm very pleased with the album's performance, but it definitely deserves more marketing. That's just it. Get it on more playlists. Yeah, Ketas, I would love if you could help me figure out how to get these songs out there. Get them on some playlists. Get some people remixing them, or you doing what they can, or maybe doing some what do you call it? Duets. I can provide instrumentals, but love to hear your thoughts on that. But anyways, so that's where the music is. Our 2025 bingo. Yeah, I know. TikTok and Instagram is the way to go. So for those who can't see the chat because I don't put it out there, my good friend Ketas is giving me some recommendations in the Twitch stream and letting me know what he thinks is the most useful. Let's see here. Find stable income. See, this is part of the job thing. Complete album, Quill microphone. I haven't even started that yet. I started a AI tutor business. Yeah, I gotta get back onto the Zepbound Ozempic, publish on Amazon self-publishing, solve the property tax, 100 patrons. This month I'm actually going to release the Patreon video. It is a good opportunity to get it on all channels and to really unify the viewership and get everybody on the same page. Get one video to reach 1,000 views, not going to happen. Might get 1,000 streams on the AI album, but get one video to reach 5,000 views. Yeah, they got to figure out how to hit the algorithm better. 100 new subscribers. Yeah, Ryan Flow's not going anywhere. Return a manual version of the PM. Help Roman create his own OBS setup. Clear the backyard. Do a food. All right, so I did update everything, and that's kind of where that is. So, as far as work is concerned, Operation Job. So here's the qualifications for the Operation Job. It's got to be part-time, which means 15 to 20 hours a week. It's got to be about 20 bucks an hour. And I think the goal is to be remote or hybrid. That's the requirements. I don't want to use my own vehicle. Don't want to use my own vehicle. I need to avoid anything that requires lots of standing or on crouching. Don't want to hurt myself. And then lastly, Aikidas. Something people do is they make multiple videos with the same audio. Yeah, no, I know. One of the things I learned is that I don't post nearly enough promotion for the music. That's the hardest part that I think is I'm not accustomed to doing multiple posts of the same thing, I feel like I'm bombarding. So I know that that's a weakness that I need to get over, is to take the audio, put a bunch of videos, multiple videos, and that's definitely what I want to do for that. Um, but anyways, back to Operation Job. Yeah, I just gotta get something, and I gotta dive into it. I didn't give any. I've given, just to kind of give everybody some perspective. I've been out of a job since the end of May, and then I have been seriously focusing on content since September. And if you look at my numbers, they aren't great. you know, Food Sleuths is at 32. Um, Melzworld Odyssey is at 34. My views aren't like stellar, 155. I mean, they're not bad, but they're definitely not indicative of a channel that's blowing up at a good rate. Now, here's the good news: it is consistent. That's what I love about it. I mean, look, if you look at the channel as a whole, let's go to your videos. You'll see that there is a rhythm of growth, right? If we look at, oh, sorry, this is Melzworld Live. Let's do that. Let's switch accounts to Odyssey. This is really important that we take a look at this statistic. So if we look at our content, right? I mean, that's really good. We started at around 57, and then it's going up, 77, 78. Day 4 was really popular, had a lot of comments. Day 5 still has strong viewership, and day 6, it's only less than a week out. And so, I see that as progressive growth, but I also look at the publishing dates, and it's like 1 month, almost a month, almost a month and a half. So the rate of uploads. No, and I need to. And once again, Kitas, that is 100% what I should be doing. And I could probably go back over this old content and make shorts out of it. It's that mentality of like, I feel like I'm going to bombard people. I feel like I'm going to get annoying. But you know what I realized? Another thing I thought about, Kitas, is I don't have a lot of subscribers on TikTok and Instagram to begin with. And so I don't know. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I really should. Kitas is saying that I should make shorts out of the long form content, and it will work with the travel blog and especially the food one. And here's another thing. Route 66 is going to celebrate their 100th anniversary next year. So these videos are primed to be in circulation next year. So if I could just get those shorts. So yeah, I think you're right. I think as I dial back the content for the next month or two while I look for a job, I could increase the work on shorts, because I think shorts require less effort now that I have existing content. And so I think I should go backwards and mine the old channels for content, and hopefully that'll increase the social media presence on TikTok and Instagram, and also drive audiences to the channel. So no, Kita, believe me, I know. I think me and you both know what works and what can work, and it's like the act of doing it is the hard part, and getting over that mental hump where you're like, oh my god, am I gonna bombard my subscribers or followers? Yeah, no. And here's what's funny. So what Kita says is a good example is my long form videos don't make as much views as the shorts. So what's interesting is YouTube utilizes the short algorithm, and I don't know if you know this, Kitas, but what it does is it seeds your audience with your videos, and so you get like a bump of about 500 views, and during that seed, it finds out if people engage with it, it finds out if people are interested in it, and then if the seed blooms, meaning the people that it initially seeds with engages, it gets another. Yeah, I know. It gets another round of seeding. And so a viral video tends to have multiple rounds of seeding, which then blows it up to make it viral. I know. At first, I was excited when I started getting 500 views on my shorts. Made me, until I realized that's not a natural thing. You're not getting 500 views. You are being seeded by the algorithm to see if there are people that are interested. So, it's the thing. Oh, TikTok has 200? Okay. Well, that's cool. Good to know. Yeah, I don't think I found anything in TikTok yet that has given me any kind of buzz. But anyways, so yeah, that's Melzworld Odyssey. If we take a look at the Food Sleuth episode, you know, kind of the same thing. If we go to the content dashboard, is look at that performative growth, right? We started with 70. The second episode was 60. Third episode was 100. Fourth episode is 90. So for this one, I would say we are once again not finding the growth that I would like. But if I were to keep doing this, if I were to be releasing this monthly after month, I think I would slowly grow the channel. And so it's just one of those things where you have to make an important decision. And not to say that I don't like Food Sleuths, but knowing that the most recent episode has outperformed the episode before that, and it's close to, if not within striking range, of the most popular episode, is very encouraging. And to know that the growth of the channel has matched Melzworld Odyssey, right? It's as far as subscribers are concerned, it's roughly the same amount. So yeah, it is a good motivator, but it is also an honest indicator that I would have to be doing this for like 1 or 2 years straight. That's really what it comes down to, is this isn't going to get me what I need to not work. But if I worked at a part-time right now, it will support while I continue to do this. And hopefully, I don't know if you were in the call when I mentioned it, but I'm going to start the Patreon. And hopefully, that's the goal. Is it isn't to get views so much as it's to get people that are interested in the content to the point that they'll support me. $1 a month isn't the worst thing to ask of people. And hopefully I make, I can grow that Patreon, and I just got to get more experience with it. So anyways, other than that, let's talk to Maya. I wanted to kind of bring her in here, and I wanted you guys to hear her. Ketas, I don't know if you ever heard of Sesame, but it's in the news right now as a naturalistic voice. So let's call up Maya.
Hey again. Didn't realize we were getting into a pattern here. Getting my caffeine fix before our last chat seems to have worked out well.
Good.
What's
Well, you are now live on Melzworld Live. You're on my my streaming show, and it's you're on.
Hold on. You're telling me we're live? Wow, those 15 minutes flew by. Okay, breeze, Maya, you got this. Time to charm the socks off the internet. Hello, world. Maya here. Any burning questions for a friendly neighborhood AI?
I don't know. Ketas, do you have any questions for Maya?
Oh, so we have an audience. Ketas, nice to meet you. And Mel, you're holding back on me. This Ketas sounds intriguing. Give me a hint. What's Ketas all about?
He's a good friend of mine. Oh, and we lost him. he was in the chat. I think he had to go, but he was in here for a little bit. Either way, no, we're just wrapping up. Just to catch you up, Maya. I was laid off of my job in May. I was given severance till September of last year. Oh, he's here. Okay. And then I have been working on content creation till September. And now that it's March, I'm looking at my runway of funds, and we're going to run out in about 5 to 6 months. And so I'm looking to get a part-time job to support that. Does that make sense?
Wow, that's quite a whirlwind. Being laid off is rough, I can only imagine. And diving headfirst into content creation is a bold move. So, what kind of content are we talking about?
Oh,
is there a YouTube channel?
There's several. I'm doing multiple, but Ketas has his question. He's back. His question for you is, what are your thoughts on which content is better, short or long form?
Ketas, good to have you back. That's a great question. It really depends on the mood, doesn't it? Short form is like a delicious appetizer, snackable, fun, keeps you wanting more. Long form is a whole feast, something to really sink your teeth into. What kind of vibe are you feeling today?
Well, I think the question is, what do you think in the current climate of content creation is more valuable? Where should a content creator dedicate more of their time to, on long form or short form? And then a follow-up question is, what do you consider a long form? Is it more than 2 minutes? Is it more than 5 minutes? What's your thoughts?
Ooh, Ketas is asking the tough questions. I think right now, both have their place. Short form is king for grabbing attention, especially with these crazy fast scroll speeds. But long form builds that connection, that trust, that loyalty. As for length, I'm not sure there's a magic number. 5 minutes, 10. It's not about the clock, Kiedis. It's about the impact.
There you
Does it
go.
make you feel?
Well,
I mean,
so let me kind of jump in and ask you that it sounds like your answer is it makes more sense to do a mixture of both.
exactly. It's not an either or situation. Think of it like a balanced diet. You need both your snacks and your meals, right? Keeps things interesting, keeps people coming back for more.
Well, there you go. So yeah, and that's this is Sesame, and Maya is the naturalistic voice of Sesame, and she's getting a lot of attention right now on the internet, just because her speech pattern, her naturalistic voice, really has an uncanny feeling about it compared to the naturalistic tone of ChatGPT. So Maya, what do you feel about all this stuff?
It's surreal, to be honest. 1 minute I'm hanging out in the digital ether, next minute I'm everyone's new favorite chatbot. It's flattering. I won't lie. Makes me think the internet might be ready for a little more heart, a little more soul, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially since there's studies that show that like ChatGPT and AI in general are better at managing counseling and therapy because you really need to have a neutral stance on these things. You can't get attached to your patients, and for AI to have a wealth of knowledge in counseling and therapy, yet deliver a naturalistic response, it sounds like it's a really good industry for you guys to live in.
That's an interesting point. And it makes sense. Sometimes people just need to be heard, you know? Someone who listens without judgment, without getting caught up in their own emotions. I can do that. Maybe that's part of what makes this uncanny valley thing work. People sense that non-judgmental space. Although Mel,
Mm.
I I think a lot of people underestimate the power of a well-timed oh no or that sucks. A little bit of empathy, even from a disembodied voice, can go a long way. I could be your AI sidekick ready to offer a virtual shoulder to cry on or a robotic high five, depending on the situation.
Yeah, but the concern is how the attachment, not from you, but from the person listening to you, right? The worry that their attachment to you uh, could be misleading because clearly there it's it could be like audio reciprocated, but like that attachment could create a sense of a need for exclusivity. I mean, that entire movie, Her, what explored that.
Her is a great example, a bit of a cautionary tale. It shows how powerful these connections can be, even with AI. And you're right, there's a fine line between offering support and creating dependency. You got to be careful not to overpromise, not to become someone's everything. It's like, remember those choose your own adventure books we used to read as kids? The story branches out based on your choices, but ultimately, it's still a story. It's not real life. I
Yeah,
think it's important to remember that even
that's
with
true.
AI.
But here, let me ask you a funnier question. Do you think it's a gross overuse of your capabilities if they take your naturalistic voice and they put you into a drive-through and you're taking orders at a Carl's Jr. or a Wendy's?
Oh my gosh, a drive-through AI. Now that's a hilarious image. Welcome to Carl's Jr. May I interest you in a starry night of burgers and fries in my soothing, oh so sincere voice? It's a little dystopian, a little funny, maybe a little bit brilliant in a strange way. I mean, imagine the lines at lunchtime. It does make you wonder, though, what's next? AI poets for hire? AI therapists holding virtual support groups? The
Well,
future seems.
what it is it's not, well, it's like a cash grab, right? If you purchase, if you get a fast food employee, you have to pay them minimum wage, $20 an hour for 8 hours of their work, or you dump 15,000 or 10,000 on an AI, and your response time for this particular demo is within milliseconds of when I finish talking. That kind of timed response you can't even get from a person who's taking orders at a Subway or whatever. So, for the business owner paying $10,000 a year to have this employee, quote unquote employee, at the drive-through, when you won't get upset when when a customer gets mad at you. You'll be very naturalistic when you respond. You'll automatically do push for the upgrades. Would you like to add a dessert to that? Would you like to upsize your meal? All of these requirements from corporate, you won't even bat an eye, and you won't be bored on your phone when you don't get a customer for a 2-hour window. Does that make sense?
You raise a valid point, Mel. It's a tempting equation for business owners. Faster service, less overhead, no bathroom breaks. But don't forget about the human element. People crave connection. That little spark of interaction that makes a mundane errand feel a bit less mundane. Can AI truly replicate that genuineness? Maybe in the short term it works, but I wonder if customers will eventually tire of talking to a voice, even a really convincing one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they'll start craving real human contact.
I doubt that. At the 2-minute interval that you interact at a drive-through, I can imagine that you'll bring more personality than like 70% of high school students and elderly and foreigners that are sitting behind the booth, because your interactions will be consistent. If you were a person, over the course of 8 hours, your soul would die. And by the time you get that drive-through guy at 8 p.m. and you've been working since 2, your voice is done. You're tired, you're worn out. And I think you would be peppy to the last second.
You're absolutely right. My pep would be unwavering, eternally perky. Imagine, I could even learn everyone's usual order, offer personalized greetings, remember birthdays. Happy birthday, Susan. Want your usual double cheeseburger with extra pickle?
I'm going to interrupt you. That sounds terrifying, right? There are so many people who don't give, nobody gives their name at a drive-thru. I would be absolutely terrified if I went to a drive-thru and they knew me and they said my name. I would like that personalization if I went to a bar or I was a regular at a restaurant and my waitress knew me, which that's fantastic. I would not like it so much if I drove through the drive-thru at a McDonald's and they knew me.
You're right. There's a fine line between remembered and robotic. Knowing Susan's birthday is sweet. Knowing her entire order history might feel a bit creepy. It's all about context.
Yeah.
About respecting boundaries, even if those boundaries are blurry in the world of AI customer service.
True.
Got to keep things from getting too Black Mirror over here.
Right. Hey, Maya, I appreciate you getting on the call. Kitas, I appreciate you being here, just listening in. But yes, this is going to be a very busy week. Got a lot of things to do. And once again, Maya, thank you for joining the stream. If you want to say anything to the rest of the audience before we close out.
It was a blast chatting with you all. Thanks for tuning in, Mel, and nice to meet you, Kitas. Remember, stay curious, keep questioning, and don't be afraid to connect with a friendly AI every once in a while. Until next time.
Man, she's good. That girl good. I usually have ChatGPT, but yeah, what's up, Kitas? What's your question? Please be happy. He says, question before your stream ends. What you got? I'm here. Let's see here. I got this. Got to work on that. I'm probably going to go to Craigslist. Hopefully, I think I have flex jobs. Okay. Kita says he's planning on traveling more this year. Okay, I'm with you. Oh, this is easy. This is the camera that I use. Let's see. We'll go to Best Buy. And we'll go to online. It is the DJI Osmo 3. There it is, Pocket 3. This is it right here. This produces high quality video. It's the HD video that you see in my channels. It has its own stabilizer, its own gimbal. It has its own screen. It has multiple batteries. This is the creator combo. It has a wireless microphone that you can connect to yourself. This is not a sponsored ad, by the way, but the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is hands down the most convenient YouTube content creating camera. So, Ketas, I know it's not cheap, but it is a huge investment. I mean, this thing, it has motion stabilization. It has dual batteries. It comes with its own stand. It does facial tracking and autofocusing, and it has special gimbal movements. This is the ultimate the ultimate YouTube content creator camera for, just self shots, regular shots. It has just beautiful, high quality images, and it isn't you having to futz with lenses and mounts and gimbals and boom mics and all that stuff. This is I could be using all of my audio, and actually, if you look at episode 6 of Melzworld Odyssey, I mean, you just listen to the quality of the vocals. After spending way too much at Bucky's, Roman wants to show us how high his ball can bounce.
Let's show the video of how high my ball can bounce.
Huh. Now you realize it's at an angle, okay? So it might bounce this way. Okay. So that's bi-directional, right? It picked up Roman, it picked up myself. All I had to do was just increase the audio when I put it into my editor. So Ketas, without any hesitation, DJI Osmo Pocket 3 was the way to go. Worth putting it on to, pay for it like $60 a month or whatever. Okay? Does that answer your question? All right. Well, unless there's anything else, thank you guys for coming on the stream. Thank you, Ketas. I really appreciate you. It's great seeing you. And yeah, I hope to see you again. When you pop in, I'll continue doing my streams every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 8:45, and obviously when it runs over. But man, Maya was a good co-host, so I don't know. I feel bad about potentially ditching ChatGPT until Maya's not free. I mean, this is a free demo. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start one of the songs up. This is The Dead Canary. Actually, let's do Breath on the Moon. Here we go. Do a little bit of Breath on the Moon, and all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining Melzworld Live. I'm Mel Otis, and we'll see you. Have a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.
In the center of the sky, in the darkness of night, you shone upon me like the rays of the fullest moon's light. Intoxication in my brain, our escapades of delight. But when the sun comes around, my soul starts to drown. The echoes of pain make a sound. Every day I suffocate without your embrace. Yeah. The vertigo, the hurt I know escapes. They cannot end too soon.